morning and welcome Country Day World School families. Thank you for attending our Friends of Country Day community meeting. Today you'll hear 1-minute updates from each of our community chairs, as well as several super important updates from our head of school, Michelle Brown. I first want to express a huge thank you to everyone who participated in all of our literacy events last month. It was our biggest literacy movement ever, thanks to each of you. And I want to give a huge thanks to our event sponsors, Joanna O'Shaughnessy and the Paula J. Stewart Endowment Fund, for making it all possible. Our literacy chair will share more details with you today. Today you'll hear from a number of our board members. Our first one today is our Vice President, Mandy Gross, who's going to talk to you a little bit about our 50th anniversary Family Fun Night. Mandy Gross, please join us.
I'm here to talk about Family Fun Night, which is going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school, and the theme is Kicking It Old School, which is going to be a super fun night, which is celebrating the music and other trends of the decades that the school was open, so 70s through today, but especially the 90s and 80s, which are going to be super fun. The event's going to be on March 28th from 5 to 8 on the sports court and athletic field, and we're going to have food trucks and other fun, so we hope to see you all there. The planning meetings will be February 24th, March 10th, and March 24th, all at noon online. Or if you just want to volunteer the day of, March 28th, we'd love to have you for that. We're also looking for sponsorships and silent auction items. So if you have a business that you'd like to promote in any way, talk to Natasha, Andrew, or myself, and we'll show you our sponsorship forms, or we can tailor something to your needs. We'd love to have you participate. And the silent auction can be anything from a night at an Airbnb to a dinner at a nice restaurant, whatever you have available to you. We're willing to talk about that as well. And we hope to see you for Kicking It Old School. Now Natasha's going to talk a little bit more about our other initiative, the Traffic Coalition.
After our last open meeting, Dr. Gillette presented several ways that the school has been working on making campus safer, and that's especially in terms of traffic. He also shared that there were several roadblocks that they ran into in terms of traffic and dealing with the county and the city to be able to make changes on 131st especially. So I reached out to school leadership after that meeting, and we got together and we formed a parent traffic coalition. We brainstormed a number of internal changes that you actually saw were already announced and implemented super quickly at the start of January. Those changes affected primarily lower elementary and primary families, although they were across the board. And I hope that they've already helped to improve traffic flow on 114th and reduce congestion for primary and lower elementary drop-off, especially going out on 131st. We also received permission and coordination with the school to petition the county and the city for a number of improvements to traffic around campus and especially on 131st. We're going to be asking for traffic mirrors, we're going to be asking for stop signs, and these are going to be both across the north and the south campus, pedestrian crosswalk, a redefined school zone with corresponding speed limits. And we'll start by submitting permits and petitions and then work on getting onto the city and county commissioners' agendas and hopefully getting a group of us together to make our case. So this is where we're going to be asking for your help. This is going to be a parent-led coalition working very closely with top leadership here at the school. And I'm asking you, if you have a traffic story that would help us make our case, or if you have additional changes that you'd like us to make, other than the ones that I've listed earlier, or if you have experience dealing with, or even a personal connection perhaps, with someone on the Largo City Council or on the Pinellas County Commissioners, or if you have expertise in city planning in general, please sign up to join our parent traffic coalition, or reach out to me through FCD-president at countrydaylargo.com, or sign up on our volunteer forums at friendsofcountryday.com. And you can do that for this initiative or for any of the initiatives that you're going to hear about today. Our next initiative is the Neurodiversity Committee, and I'm going to ask Colleen Shaw to come up and talk to you about that right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha and Mandy. So for neurodiversity, just a quick update. We had the amazing team of the leading ladies for Country Day, led by Miss Kathy Carley, and also Michelle Tucker, Barbara Barbaro, Alexis Novak, and Olivia Casey. And they came and did a reading panel during Literacy Week. It was incredible. We're working on getting a video sent out to the community. So be on the lookout for that, because that was just very impactful to understand all the wonderful things that our school is doing for literacy. Additionally, we are hoping to get another book club meeting. And so I have chosen this book for many reasons. Mel Robbins is an adult who was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. She's also a lawyer, and she has a podcast, and it's just a very cool way to look at neurodiversity through this theory of let them. So if you are interested in joining, I would love to just invite as many people as possible. My call to action is, if there's anyone who's interested, who really loves book clubs, who loves organizing, if you are interested, we would love to have somebody maybe take this on to organize an outdoor or like a coffee shop meetup for the book club. So the last book club we had it at Seminole City Playground. It was so wonderful. We were also just thinking that maybe there's some people who would want to host it at their house in a more intimate setting, or possibly at the house coffee shop. The date we're looking at is around April 11th, and that will give you something to read over spring break. So keep this in mind. And I would like to introduce Kristen Garcia for our teacher appreciation update.
Hello, I'm Kristen Garcia, and I'm the Teacher Appreciation Chair this year. I wanted to give you a review of some things that we've recently done and let you know about some things that are coming up. So our committee recently kicked off the Book Fair and Literacy Week by hosting an Alice in Wonderland themed breakfast for all of our teachers. We hosted a tea party in the lounge on the morning of January 24th, and teachers were able to come and enjoy tea and coffee and scones before heading to the book fair to pick out books to add to their teacher wish lists. Each teacher also received their own birthday gift, and it was a really fun event. Tomorrow, the committee is going to be setting up a Valentine's treat buffet in the lounge for all faculty and staff. It's our way of thanking them for all that they do and wishing them a happy Valentine's Day. The theme of this is thank you for putting your heart into teaching, and we hope that everyone's going to enjoy that. So our biggest event of the year is coming up. It's going to be Teacher Appreciation Week, which is May 5th through 9th. And we are going to be offering a different event each day of the week for all of our teachers. And while we're planning to bring back some of the favorites from previous years, like the hot breakfast and ice cream social, we're also hoping to build upon and to include some new offerings for the teachers this year. So we'll be looking for volunteers to help with the events throughout the week, and also parents who might be interested in sponsoring one of the events for us. So if you're interested in sponsoring or volunteering, have any ideas that you'd like to share for teacher appreciation, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Monisha, our social chair.
Hi everybody, I'm Monisha Corey. I'm the social chair, and I'd love to give you some up and coming events to look forward to. So the first event is a kind of casual play date, just some time for the families to get together and just have fun with their kids. So it's going to be, we have gotten some requests so that it can be age appropriate throughout all of the ages. So we've chosen the Seminole Waterfront Park because they allow fishing off the deck for some of the older kids that are into that. There's a playground. There's a whole lot in that area for all different ages. There will be emails going out about that. But just so you know, February 22nd at 10 a.m., but it's kind of like a come when you want to come type of thing. It's not super formal, just bring your kids, have fun, let's get together, let's, just be a family like we are. And then the next thing is we have a Mustang meetup, which is a combo of a fundraiser and social event. It's at Chipotle in Seminole. We are trying to get Crumb to join with us so we can have Mexican and then cookies, because that sounds amazing to me. And that is on March 3rd, and it's from 4 to 8. And we'll be sending out flyers and like vouchers that you can show them that you are from the school, so that we can make the 10, or I actually think it's 15% from the sales of any food that you purchase from Chipotle on that day from 4 to 8. And then I'm setting up a parent social at Forchetta's, which is just down the road on a Friday night, but I'm open to suggestions on which night works best for parents. I'm setting it up right now. The owners of Forchetta are wonderful and very flexible. So if anybody has suggestions on what's an easier night to get help with kids so that you can get out, whether it's Friday, Saturday, a weeknight, send that our way so that we have an idea. I'm thinking Friday night for now, but if I get, suggestions, I will certainly take that into consideration. And that's gonna happen within the next month. And you guys will all get communication about that. And it's just a time for parents to get together, to get to know each other, to build our community, to build the Country Day family, and just have a little fun without the kiddos around. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Sorry I'm unable to meet in person. Just wanted to first thank everybody for all of your support during our book fair and literacy week at the end of January. We were able to sell around 1,500 books, but more importantly, really foster a true love of reading and awareness of literacy throughout campus. So as you've heard from Colleen and Kristen, we definitely were able to collaborate with our Neurodiversity committee with teacher appreciation to ensure that it was truly a team effort throughout the week, and are really truly appreciative of how much everybody enjoyed it and was able to get out of it. We were able to raise some money, a few $1,000s for the school, and we are working currently with Mrs. Brown and Ms. Schreiber and the team to see how that impact is going to, where the funds are going to impact Country Day. So stay tuned for more opportunities to see where the dollars are going into action from the book fair. And then additionally, we are not just the book fair and literacy week. There are some additional events that we have in the works, including a battle of the books and reading under the stars that we're talking about planning for later in the year right before the end of the school. Before the end of the school year. So please be on the lookout for announcements about this, what it actually entails for the students. The Battle of the Books is going to be geared more for upper L middle school, and then Reading Under the Stars will be for the entire campus. And then just want to also segue to fundraising. Again, has been very much a team effort. I think Linda's going to talk a little bit more about some of our fundraising efforts, but I don't know if Linda's around and has any.
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Linda Golpavar. I'm on the board of FCD as well, and just helping Andrew out, and also will speak to the silent auction. Sponsorship, just to let you all know, to all of you in the room, we do have this paper here that is over there by the door if you want to grab one on your way out. But basically it entails a list of different ways that you can sponsor our Friends of Country Day, and also at any of our events, or if you could showcase your logo on our banners, for instance. You could get recognition through the website, and many different ways. Mustang Meetup, you can sponsor, what Andrew just mentioned, things like that. So there's different categories for that. Mustang Family, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and then Endowment. And so you can take a look at that and see, if it's a company that you have that you want to showcase, we definitely would welcome that. We also have the silent auction. So that's another way to showcase your company, or if you want to donate something, that's a way to do that. So for new families that are here, what that is for Family Fun Night, we lay out these tables at the event, and we put different gift baskets, different sort of ways to show what we are providing for the silent auction. And so people are donating that. And the school is very gracious enough to donate many things as well. So like, for instance, they donate school lunch for a semester. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? So, And then it's a silent auction, right? So you put in the amount that you would want to donate towards it. So if you win, if you're the last name on the list, then you win. So definitely make sure to come up, look at the table, and see what you'd like to donate. And also, if there's anything that you can think of that you want to provide, come to me and our board. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So Linda ran a silent auction last year. Some of the great items that we had were some people shared, for example, their boat that they were able to take out. Thank you, Linda, and share that with the community, Airbnbs, that sort of thing. So if you know anybody in the community that can do that, that would be wonderful. Another thing that is available for sponsorship is if you'd like to help support Teacher Appreciation Week. That's something that we've grown each year, and Kristen will be really spearheading a wonderful week that we've got a lot of great activities planned, and we're happy to have families take on each one of the days of that week if that's something that you're interested in doing. Speaking of faculty and our teachers, our faculty vice president is Miss Hankey. She's not able to join us today, but she did send me a little note of what she'd like us to share, and that is that the Kids Heart Challenge is going super, super well. I imagine Michelle might want to speak to that a little bit, but she wanted me to share that we're almost at the $10,000 goal. We might actually already be there. Yeah, as of yesterday, we're almost there, so I may be delayed in my numbers, but very exciting that we're almost at that goal. So that is very possible that we can still hit that, and it's going to be finishing up this coming week, so she can share a little bit more about that. And she wanted to share that that has been a really big initiative with all of the families at the school, as well as your children, and thank you so much for that, for Miss Hankey. Miss Hankey would have then introduced Mrs. Brown to share updates from the school for you all, and she took a lot of the advice and feedback from you and questions that you had, and she's going to address a lot of those, as well as some exciting updates that the school has at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, Natasha. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming in person, as well as those joining us online. Just to pick right up where Natasha left off on the Kids Heart Challenge, so as of about 4:45 yesterday afternoon, we were $95 short of our $10,000 goal. Just a little funny story for you. So the faculty here, we do a Super Bowl pool, and you win a certain amount of money for the quarter scores. You may or may not know this about me, but I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, being from Missouri. But I happened to win one of the quarter scores, which was exactly $100. So I felt that money was a little tainted because my Chiefs did not win, and I went ahead and donated that to make our goal of $10,000. So we're just about $5 over our goal. So that is just huge. And I, thank you all to, both our students and you all as parents, as well as probably extended friends and family that donated to that cause, because it is, something that's really close to our hearts, children that have heart diseases and wanting to be able to help them and their families. So that goes a long way, and we really appreciate that. So yes, like Natasha said, there are several of you that had some questions and topics you wanted me to speak on. So she's very generously summarized those things for me, some of the more popular topics. So I'll be addressing those in no particular order. But before I do that, I wanted to send a couple of words of thank you to all of our parents, but especially the Friends of Country Day and the people that put on the book fair and all of the work that went into that. I can't even imagine how exhausted Natasha and Andrew and all of you that volunteered for that must have been after that week. Very successful, and you can look for updates on what we do plan to spend that money on. It is important to us that it benefits the greater community for the school here, so we will be making those decisions and get that information to you. And I also wanted to thank all of you that are involved in the Traffic Coalition, so Natasha taking the lead on that. That is something that, there are strength in numbers, and it will take all of us and as many as possible to make some of those changes that really increase and enhance the safety when it comes to our traffic out in front of the school. I also want to let you know of a couple things coming up. So while we had Literacy Week, we are always about literacy, not limited to the Book Fair Week. So we do have some different parent education nights coming up. So one of them is actually next week on Tuesday. We will have a presentation from an attorney about keeping your children safe online, and that is for lower elementary up through middle school parents. If you attended that last year, it is a very similar presentation, but I know a lot of you wanted to attend and weren't able to, so I would encourage you to attend that on Tuesday night. Coming up after that shortly will be a primary language night. So this will be an opportunity for you all to come, if you have a child in primary, to learn how we present the language curriculum, which is just really phenomenal. So some of you may have come to the math night last year, so this year it'll be a language night. And then for our infant and toddler families, we will have a speech therapist coming in to do a presentation on some different ways that you can help your child develop in that area. So that's something that you guys can look forward to. Okay, so to the list of topics that you all wanted me to address, so starting with safety. So in a prior meeting, I did let you all know that the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office would be coming and doing a campus safety assessment, and then followed by a very detailed report about things that we can do to increase the safety around campus. And that report has come back. It is very detailed, and I just want to start by saying they were very complimentary of the things we already have in place, such as security cameras, our door locking, practices and things like that, the increased security coming into the front office, and some of the additional fencing that we've already incorporated. So they were very, very complimentary of that, which made us feel good. But there are some things that we can work on as well. So some of those things that we are doing right away, or maybe have already done actually, still looking at additional fencing to ensure that every single classroom is behind a fence. We have made improvements in that area, but that is coming. Small things that we wouldn't have thought of, and a lot of these things are, in the unfortunate event that there is a threat on campus, most of these things are how to help the law enforcement respond quickly. And so, for example, clearly labeling all buildings and windows and doors so that they can, we can say intruder at this building, this door, and they know where that is, and they have a map. Incorporating a mobile panic alert system. One of them is Alyssa's alert, if you're familiar with that, with the public school system. So that's something that we'll implement to have just, direct connectivity to law enforcement and as well as ambulances and different medical teams. The big one that we have been aware of, but we're getting quotes and going to implement is on some of the exterior gates. The fire department does not like those locked because it's a point of egress. But of course, law enforcement says you absolutely need to have your gates locked. So the way around that is to have push bar exits so that they can be locked from the outside, but can still get out in a fire. So that is something that we will be implementing on all of our perimeter gates. That was in the report multiple times, so it was a big one. So those are kind of the main things that we're doing. There are other very small things such as, the doors to the middle school, for example, there are 2 handles on the outside, removing one of them so that someone couldn't put something in between the 2. So very little things like that are easy to do. Otherwise, some of the other larger things, we are still reviewing those items, and if plans are in place, and we will announce those. There was a question about school nurse. I guess the short answer, if we plan to have a school nurse, the answer is no, but let me explain why. There really just aren't enough urgent issues that come up to really warrant that. Our teachers are trained, all of them, in CPR and first aid to be able to respond quickly, and it's a very low bar for us to call 911. So if there is an emergency, we will call 911. It's free, and it's just as a precaution, and of course getting parents involved in a situation like that. But in addition to that, we're also considering being connected to a virtual source for medical information, so as many of you probably do. Okay, scholarships. So I know last meeting, Dr. Gillette mentioned if additional scholarships and programs become available to our students or our community, that we would happily participate in those. As of right now, we don't know of any additional ones other than the ones that we already accept. So that would be the unique abilities, the educational opportunities through Step Up. But if any of you do know of another scholarship program that you would like us to consider, we are happy to look into that. Veracross training. Yes, so we will definitely be doing some parent education on Veracross in the fall. And I know that it's been a source of frustration for different reasons and at different age groups. It has been for us as well. Let me just put it out there. So it is new to us this year. The reason we haven't done parent training at this point is because we're still figuring out the best use of it for ourselves. And so once we'll have that, feedback from this year. So any feedback that you have and you would like to share with us, it would be welcome. so that we can kind of put some of those things in place, solidify them, and be able to offer parent training in the fall. Summer camp and clubs. So I know it's frustrating, the club sign up every time. So I guess some questions about that are, can we offer more clubs? Can we keep clubs consistent throughout at least the semester, if not the school year? And that's definitely helpful feedback. So we are considering that for next school year. But on the flip side of that, we do want to be able to offer a variety of clubs and sports to all children to expose them to some of these, things that they may latch onto and want to take a deeper dive outside of here. So that's philosophically why we switch them up every so often, to be able to offer a larger variety. And of course, the amount of clubs we offer each time just depends on the teacher availability and interest in offering those. So just keeping that in mind as well. Summer camp, that will be rolling out very shortly. Not to put a timeline on it, but within a week or two, definitely by the end of the month, that will be launching for you. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was renovations for next school year. There was a question about that. So we are constantly assessing the needs on campus, and that goes both with aesthetic things such as landscaping, which we are enhancing some of the landscaping at this entrance here, as well as at the at the top of Farm Road. So that's already in the works, and you can look forward to beautified spaces there. But also just facility needs and normal wear and tear things that need to be replaced. So some things that have already done or are in the process of doing include new flooring and remodeling in all of the primary classrooms. So that is complete. We have 2 out of the 3 cottages done as well. So the 3rd cottage will be done by the end of the school year. We also will be replacing the flooring in the upper elementary and remodeling that interior at the end of the summer, so prior to next school year. And then we have a couple of classrooms in the middle school building that need new flooring as well. So those are just ongoing things, constantly looking at the needs there. Some of you may know we've also built an additional infant room in Casa Bambini. So we now have 2 infant rooms out of just a demand for infant care. So that space is really beautiful if you haven't had a chance to go in there. And then the other big thing is playgrounds. So the toddler 2 playground the playground equipment is finally here, and it will be assembled in the next week or so. And then the lower L playground, our goal is to have that completely finished by the end of the school year. So starting, summer camp can enjoy it, and then into the next school year as well. And then the primary playground, so this one is a little bit larger. I know there's a specific question about where the pirate ship used to be. So that is part of a larger project that we are considering, having a playground where all 3 primary classrooms can play together and enjoy that. So they can see friends from other classes, but you can imagine that that's a huge re-engineering kind of feat. So that's why that's still the way it is, but we do have some of those design plans in the works. So something that we're considering doing there. Okay, I think that is it for the topics that you suggested, but anytime if I know some of you had some very individualized specific questions, so I'm happy to set up a phone call, email me, or a meeting even. So if that applies to you, feel free to reach out and we'll get something set up. So otherwise, thank you so much for having me. And so thank you for that question. I know, class size is always a debatable topic. So I guess the short answer is no, we don't plan to open a 4th primary classroom. Just to give you a little bit of background on the methodology and philosophy there of our class sizes, and particularly in primary, it is really, we're not a traditional school, obviously, and those aren't traditional classrooms. So the class size is a little bit different in a traditional setting versus a Montessori classroom. So yes, I would agree that after a certain number of students in a traditional classroom with 1 teacher, it does become, perhaps the learning and teaching does get diluted a little bit in that situation. But in a Montessori classroom, it's actually best practices to have around 30 or so children, depending, of course, on the physical space, but our classrooms are big enough to support that. And the reason for that comes down to the multi-age grouping. So the younger ones, as you know, they watch and learn from the older ones, and the older ones truly become the seniors of the classroom. And they're learning other skills besides just the academics. So by being around each other. And that's not something that the teacher can necessarily teach them. So for example, if a first year really wants this piece of work and another first year has it right now so they can't do it right now, that teaches them a skill, right? To take turns, wait patiently. And then when they watch maybe a kindergartner doing a piece of work that they really want to do, but they're not ready for it yet, but they have something to look forward to. I actually observed in P3 earlier this week, and I saw a beautiful thing, exactly what I'm talking about, that a first year walked up to a kindergartner doing a piece of work that he wasn't ready for, the first year wasn't, but he just sat down next to her and watched her do it. So he's retaining something there, whether he realizes it or not, for when he is ready for that piece of work. So those kinds of things, and again, as you know, we do have 3 teachers in each primary classroom, as well as a floater, so sometimes 4. So it's really best practices in line with the Montessori philosophy as to why we have the class sizes the way we do. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anything else in particular?
Online?
Not online,
No.
we're good.
Okay, all
We'll
right.
take some time afterwards
Yes.
to chat. Yeah, so everyone who's online, please, share any additional questions and we'll connect with you, whether they're FCD questions or Country Day questions. We'll reach out to you. In person, we're going to adjourn in a moment. There's going to be refreshments outside and you're welcome to have some discussion with our FCD leadership and school leadership. There are sign-up sheets over here if you'd like to sign up for any of our committees, as well as sign up to be part of the Traffic Coalition or any of the other initiatives that we have going on. And I did want to note, we have one of our FCD board members who wasn't able to join us today, Amanda Milland. She's our community service chair. She specifically manages community service for students. She's working on a number of initiatives that she'll be able to share with you next time. One of those initiatives you'll see at Family Fun Night, for example. It's going to be a Pound Puppies initiative where she's going to be pulling in some rescue puppies that we'll be able to hopefully be able to help with. If you're interested in helping her with that would be wonderful, as well as additional community service hours opportunities for our children. So if that's something that you're interested in helping her with, we would love to have you join us. She's also looking at helping to pack lunches for children in the community across Pinellas County who don't have school lunches during breaks, for example, and having our children learn to do that really from all ages, right? So those who are in Beta Club and younger as well. And if that's something that you'd like your kids to be a part of, you can reach out to Amanda or ask us questions about that as well.
I think she's online, if anyone had anything to ask her.
Perfect. We appreciate you guys all so much. You guys make this possible. The school makes this possible. Our board is wonderful and our school is wonderful. We really appreciate this community that you all are making possible. So thank you. We'll adjourn at this moment. Please come and speak to us, have some refreshments. If you're online and not able to join us in person, please reach out to us at any point and we'd be happy to get together with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.